各位大家好。咁咧，而家咧
Right, members, it is 3:30. It is time to make a start with this subcommittee on refuse collection and resource recovery. We have to take the quorum. Let's make a start. Today we have to elect the chairman of the subcommittee. Under section 22 and clause number 4, may I have a nomination? We need to have a member nominated and seconded, and the nominated member should accept the nomination. Yes, nomination, please. Mr. Charles Mock, I nominate Ms. Tanya Chen. Seconder? Mr. Andrew Wan, seconds. Ms. Tanya Chen, I accept the nomination. Yes, I do, Chairman. Any other nominations? By the count of 3, 3, 2, 1. All right, no further nomination. Ms. Tanya Chen. I declare Ms. Chen duly elected as chair of the subcommittee. Over to you, please.
主席，唔該晒你先。咁跟住可以想睇下
會唔會
需要副主席嘅？
好，咁就
All right. This is Subcommittee on Refuse Collection and Recovery, Resource of Recovery. Nomination for Vice Chair. We need to have a member validly nominated, seconded by another member, and the member being nominated should accept the nomination. Nomination, please. Mr. Eddie Chu, I nominate Mr. Edward Yu. Seconder, thanks Mr. Nathan Law. Mr. Yu, I accept the nomination. Yes. Any other nominations? If not, then like Mr. Leung, by the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, Mr. Yu. Do you care to sit next to me? Please.
冇錯。
咁另一方面咧，就頭先朱凱廸議員咧，我要等佢聲出嚟，我哋
好
問一聲，跟住如果你同意嘅話，佢因為有啲建議或者討論嘅時候咧，
好
咁有幾張，咁我哋會請同事交流。咁呢個係政府亦都有佢自己嘅建議。咁
好
OK 嘅話，我哋都可以睇。
好，咁我哋
Right, Appendix 2 is the proposed schedule of meetings. The Secretariat has worked very hard and selected 9 slots for future meetings tentatively. The administration has also made some proposals. The administration proposed 4 meetings. In terms of the number of meetings, I think we can exercise some flexibility there. Perhaps at the end of this month, or at least in December, we should have the first meeting. Do you object to any meeting being held before the end of the year? The administration and Mr. Eddie Chu have made some suggestions. We have a paper. There are 6 points there, and there is 1 point regarding public hearing. Now, we will notify members of the date of the next meeting, but we can expect this to be scheduled before the end of the year. And then we can discuss the future meetings. There should be no less than 4. I presume that there should be 8 meetings altogether, so please work hard. For the administration's proposal, for the second meeting, we'd like to have deputations. For the third meeting, we're going to talk about the reference collection system and response to the deputations, and source separation and response to deputations. And the fourth meeting, we'll discuss the recovery work and the GCC community Green Community Station, and also the report of the steering committee. I think this is the administration's proposal. I'd like to call upon Mr. Hon CHU to take us through his proposals, and I'll throw the floor open for further suggestions. My 6 points, Madam Chair, can be categorized into two groups. The first one is the legislation for levy for municipal solid waste, and the refuse recovery system. There ought to be some modification, and I hope that the subcommittee would seek clarification with the administration about the operation of existing recovery system. And we also would like to hear from the community recyclers input, and also those on the front line of waste recovery. We'd like to hear from them about the existing problems and the way forward. Number 5 and number 6 are in connection with source reduction at source, and how the government can take the lead to reduce waste. We should aim to achieve zero waste. All right, we can work it out with the Secretariat and see how we can fit in these items into the agenda. All right then, any objection to the proposals made by the administration and Mr. Chu? Dr. Lo Wai Kwok. Madam Chair, the two public hearings, I don't have any strong views about that, but I think one session would be good enough because the two items are relevant. The cleaners, the operation of the community recycling network, the community green stations. We're talking about the same stakeholders. If we can have one single session with all these stakeholders involved, it would be a good idea. Any further comments on the agenda items and the scope? Vice Chair. Madam Chair, I think the items are broad enough, but I'd like to specify that we should discuss the construction waste and the pollution, how we can reduce the volume of waste. I think we can add this to the agenda items. Well, at the moment they just chuck this into the landfill, and this takes about 10% of the MSW.
工程嗰啲廢料都要包括，因為如果我哋睇都市固體廢物嘅話咧，就未必包。不過如果兩者一齊都要傾嘅，我哋都可以請政府俾相關嘅資源。
好好好，咁就
like the Deputy Chairman said, if we'd like to look at the construction waste, then we need to solicit information from the departments. The Secretariat is kind enough to put together a background brief And I think it would be a good idea for some documents to be made available for some more focused discussion. Mr. Leung Yu-jung, Madam Chair, Mr. Eddie Chu focused on the refuse collected by the FEHD. I think the other department that is involved is the housing department. I think the housing estates play a very important role in refuse collection. The housing department is one of our targets. We should focus on how we can reduce waste production. The food waste is also a serious problem in housing estates, so we can minimize the waste. And we should achieve recovery more in this regard. This is something under the remit of the housing department. Yes, we try to liaise with the department and see what information can be made available. We don't rule out the possibility of inviting representatives from various departments. It may have to do with the FHD, or it may have to do with the housing department. And we can invite the various departments to come and talk to us. Any further suggestions? If not, all right, let me put this to you, members. For the next meeting, do you want to have a public hearing first, or do you want to have some discussion with the administration first? The administration's proposal is to receive deputations, and Mr. Eddie Chu's proposal don't really have any time frame for them. So should we do the public hearing first, or Mr. Eddie Chu? Madam Chair, I would suggest that we hear from the administration about the way they handle things. I agree with Mr. Leung Yu-jung that we should incorporate the refuse problem from the housing estates, and on this basis we can hold a public hearing and that would achieve better results. Dr. Lo Wai-kwok. Madam Chair, basically I am in agreement. I think the sooner we arrange for the public hearing, the better. I don't have an objection to hearing from the administration about an outline of the policies that would set the scene for us. I think the frontline people should voice their comments as well. I think we hear from the administration first, and then we hear the deputations, and that would give us an overview of the situation. All right, and for the first meeting, we will invite the administration to talk to us, and documentation will be made available. And maybe for the first 1 or 2 months in 2017, we hear from the deputations and invite their comments. All right, is it the right way to go? Okay, then thanks very much.
冇錯，係啦，我哋咧亦都
Members' comments, members' points of concern from Mr. Chu, Mr. Leung, and Mr. Lo will be put in the outstanding list of items. Let's aim to achieve zero waste. We're going to put these in the outstanding item list of this zero waste subcommittee. You're welcome to add to it. All right. We have the research division in the council, and one of members' objectives is to make comparison between Hong Kong and other jurisdictions, and let's see whether any jurisdictions would like to have them included for consideration, and we invite the research division to come up with some research exercise.
Do you have any suggestions on research cities. So would we have time other than today to put forward our suggestions? So research division, they can also put forward suggestions on which cities are doing a good job. So on the next occasion, so the research division could also provide information. Any other input? If we don't have further input, then we can conclude here. Any other matters arising? If not, then thank you very much.